So I wasn't going to do a video today. I was just going to stop doing this because it's so hard, and I just kind of felt like, you can't really help anyone. They're going to do it anyway, right? 93% of Americans think that suicide is preventable, and it's not. It's not preventable. It's a spontaneous act. People get it in their head that they have this demon talking to them constantly, this voice in their head. They can't control it. They have no control over this voice that's constantly talking to them, telling them, you're not worthy to live. You're not worthy. You are a burden to your family. And in a moment of weakness, that is when they do it. It is the 10th leading cause of death in America. And almost 70% of those that die by suicide are men, white American men. 130 men a year, per day. 130 men per day commit suicide. 130. Wrap your brain around that. 130. That's a big number. That's a lot of men that we're losing each day to suicide because they think that they can just control it. But you can't control it. No matter what you do, you don't have control over it. You have to get help. You have to use whatever resources that you can to help yourself and to help your loved ones. Counseling helps. I've been seeing a therapist every week since I lost Evan. And it is helping me. It really is. I don't know where I would be without counseling. And I think this is helping me too. I'm a nurse, so I need to feel like I'm helping other people. You have to find what works for you. If you're depressed and you don't see any way out of your depression, exercise helps. It makes your body release hormones that make you feel better. I know that I'm always saying exercise. My family gets so sick of hearing me say that exercise is the answer, but it really does help you. If you can imagine a baby that's not fed and not rested and doesn't have an outlet for their energy, they're just sitting there screaming and crying, and they can't help themselves. That's what your body is. That's what your body's doing. You have to have proper rest, you have to have proper nutrition, and you have to have an outlet for your stress. So exercise does help. Proper nutrition helps. Rest helps. All of these things. being able to talk to someone that's maybe not your spouse or not your family, not your friend, someone, a professional that knows how to properly guide you. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert on suicide. I'm not an expert on this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to help save one person. If I can help save one person, then I feel like I've accomplished that something. And yes, I have been reading lots of stuff about suicide prevention and awareness. And yes, I have taken care of patients that have attempted suicide. I have done that. Done that very recently. I've had a patient very recently who attempted suicide. Thank God he was an attempt and not a success. And I hope that I made a difference for him. I hope that he listened to what I had to say, and I hope I was able to make a positive impact. I was not able to help Devin. I know that now, and I look back now and I see that I missed things in his life. So that kind of makes me a bit of an expert. I'm living it. And I know that people have made comments to me on Facebook that I'm not an expert on suicide and I shouldn't be giving advice. Well, that's fine. You can move on. Scroll on past my videos. I'm here to help in any way that I can. If you need to talk to me, I'm here for you. If you're one of Devin's friends, and I know that several of you guys are struggling with what happened with him. We're still struggling. Several of you have reached out to us, and I know that you guys still are working through this, and we're here to help you too. We all need each other. Don't be a statistic. Don't add to this. I don't want anybody else adding to these numbers. If we can help you in any way, we are here for that. Everybody's life is of value. Everybody is needed, and you are not a burden. If you have a child that is struggling with drug addiction, and they have been in and out of therapy and rehab, I guarantee you they feel like they are a burden to you. And I know that Devin didn't have that problem, but a lot of times that's what the problem is. And people with bipolar depression, they use drugs to self-medicate, and it's because they can't find any other way to help themselves. And so that's what they use. They use other drugs to help them quiet that voice in their head. So you need to help them in any way that you can. And one way is to make sure that they know that they're not a burden to you. Help them find therapy, and don't quit until they quit. Keep trying until they succeed. That's how you do it. You just keep trying until they finally succeed. There are people that succeed in drug rehab. There are success stories. You just have to keep trying until you get it right. If you're depressed and you need a therapist and you just haven't found the right therapist that fits for you, you keep trying. You keep finding a therapist. You keep trying out different therapists until you find one that works for you. If you don't like this exercise program, you keep trying different programs until you find one that you like. There is an exercise program for everybody. And exercise, it doesn't have to be hard. Yoga is fantastic. I love yoga. It makes your body move, and it gives your brain something to think about for 20 minutes that's not what you're stressing over. It's fantastic. And when you're done, you have all these endorphins that your body needs to deal with your stress. It helps you get through the day. If jogging is your thing, then go jog for 20 minutes. Kickboxing, whatever it is. You just have to do something that helps you deal with your stress. If you do nothing day after day and you just dwell in whatever it is that you're dealing with, then you're just going to keep on in the same vicious cycle. You have to do something to get help. And you cannot listen to that voice in your head that's telling you that you're not worthy. You can change that conversation that's going on in your head. It can be changed. You just have to do it. It takes work, but it can be done. Every time that voice tells you something negative, talk back to it. Tell it to shut up. Tell it, no, I am worthy. Get up and walk around. You have to actively do something to change that conversation. It can be done. I wish I had known that Devin was having that conversation with himself. I would have helped him change it, but I didn't know. So if you have that voice, if you're battling depression, if you know somebody that is battling depression, help them to get help. Make them know that they are worthy, that they are valued, that they are not a burden. That is the 3 most important things. It is the most important thing you can do for yourself, or for your loved one, for your friend. Help them know that they are valued, loved, and not a burden. Please share my channel, like it, follow it on YouTube. Thank you. See you next week.